Yo, what is up everyone? We're back again with another YouTube video. It's Jordan Adept, E to the D to the E to the T, Holistic Jordan, and today I'm going to be going over the GI tract. Basically, how can we subdivide the GI tract into 3 subdivisions and what's included in those subdivisions? That's going to be today's mini lecture. Okay, so the GI tract starts off from your mouth. All right, your oral, I don't know what I'm doing. Your oral cavity, all right? So that's where it starts. I write down oral cavity, and it's gonna work its way through the body from your oral cavity down to where? Where are we going? The end destination is gonna be your rectum. So when you defecate, the food is gonna exit your rectum. Right, so that burger you're eating, you know that it's going to pass through your GI tract, starts from your oral cavity, and it's going to leave via your rectum. Okay? So now when we think about your GI tract, your oral cavity is the first part, but what else is included within your GI tract? That's what we're going to get into right now. Okay? So the first subdivision of the gut is called your foregut, which all it means is just in front, it's interior, it's first. Okay, so I'm going to write down foregut. Apologies, the pen isn't the best, but this is, the teacher must go on. The teacher must go on. Alright? So your foregut is everything from your oral cavity all the way to where, you might ask? This is going to be your second part of your duodenum. Okay, and your duodenum, that is the first part of your small intestine. I have to think. Small intestine? Yes, small intestine. Okay, so your foregut is everything between your oral cavity down to your second part of your duodenum. So what's in between, you might ask? That's what we're going to go over right now. So you have your oral cavity, you also have your esophagus. Remember that your oral cavity, you have your esophagus, and then you have your stomach as well. Okay, so your stomach's going to be there. In part of your foregut, you're also going to have your spleen, you have your pancreas, you're going to have your liver, you're going to have your gallbladder, and you're going to have your duodenum up to the second part. Okay, so let's write duodenum. Okay, so that's kind of like the first subdivision of the gut, is your foregut, everything from the oral cavity down to the second part of your duodenum. Okay, so now that we've got foregut out of the way, let's go on to the midgut. So the midgut is the second subdivision of the gut, and this is everything, obviously, after the second part of your duodenum, all the way to 2/3 across your transverse colon. So we went from the small intestine all the way to your large intestine. Okay, so 2/3 across your transverse colon. And the exact same that we did with the foregut. What's some of the structures in between the second part of your duodenum and your transverse colon? So let's break it down. So we know that your duodenum is the first part of your small intestine. So you also have your jejunal ileum, your jejunum and your ileum. Pretty sure they're continuous. So you have your jejunum, you have your ileum, and we're going now, how I remember this actually, you have your ileocecal valve. So let me just write down your ileocecal valve. And I break that down. So ileo is obviously referring to the ileum, which is the terminal aspect of your small intestine. And your cecal is referring to your cecum, which is the first part of your large intestine. Okay, so the ileocecal valve is basically going to prevent any backflow from your large intestine coming into your small intestine. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to write down your cecum. If you have your cecum, you also have your appendix. and you also have your ascending colon, and then obviously 2/3 across your transverse colon, okay? Try 2/3. Okay, so that's the midgut. The midgut, everything between the second part of your duodenum, third part, to your transverse colon. I'm going to go 2/3 across your transverse colon. So that is going to basically separate the foregut and midgut. Cool. Okay, I'm going to move on to this aspect. I'm just going to tilt this slightly. There we go, the orientation. Okay, so we did the foregut, midgut. And also before I get onto the hindgut, you also, because we're going 2/3 across your transverse colon, it also means we have our hepatic flexure as well. Hepatic flexure. And that's going to be located in your right upper quadrant. Okay. Cool. So foregut, midgut, and I just write hindgut here. So this is basically the last division of your GI tract. Okay? And your hindgut is going to be the distal third. So it's going to run from the distal third of your transverse colon, all the way to where? Well, we know that the GI tract is everything continuous from your oral cavity down to your rectum. So if the hindgut's the last aspect of the division of your GI tract, then it must end at the rectum and where the anal canal is. Okay? So distal third of your transverse colon. So some of the structures which are going to be included within this is going to be your, obviously, distal third of your transverse colon, your descending colon, and because the distal third, I'm also going to include your splenic flexure as well, which is located in the left upper quadrant of your abdomen. Okay. Okay, so we have your descending colon. We're also going to have our sigmoid colon, and we're going to have a rectum and anal canal. Okay. Anal canal. Cool. So that's everything in your hindgut. Okay. So I'm just going to run from the top. So we know that the GI is everything continuous from your oral cavity to your rectum, and we can break up into 3 subdivisions: your foregut, your midgut, and your hindgut. Your foregut is everything from your oral cavity to the second part of your duodenum. Your midgut is everything onwards from the second part of your duodenum to 2/3 across your transverse colon, and your hindgut is the distal third of your transverse colon, all the way down to your rectum. Okay? And in my next teach, I'll be talking about the vasculature of each subdivision of the gut and some of the main arteries and branches involved in that. Okay, so this is just a brief overview of the GI tract. I will be attaching down below some questions to supplement your revision, and yeah, we will do that. So be sure to like, subscribe, and everyone say love life, love learning. Love life, love learning. And I'll see you all in the next teach. Peace.